Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes constantly on the streets. And if it's a trending story, whether it's Easter Monday or any other day, we are going to dissect it on here live and direct. In our first story, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is calling for mandatory drug testing of all prospective NYSC members as part of its broader strategy to combat rising substance use among Nigerian youth. Now, the NDLEA Chairman, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, has said that the move would not only deter drug use, but also enable early intervention for those who test positive during orientation. He was speaking through the agency's Director of Drug Demand Reduction. He emphasized that the importance of proactive measures at the grassroots cannot be understated, including schools, communities, and families. Now, his initiative falls under the War Against Drug Abuse campaign, and NDLEA for the longest time has been providing affordable test kits and trained personnel to institutions that handle younger people. He stressed that it's important that we reverse Nigeria's drug crisis, and we need a unified national effort and stronger support systems for young people who are battling addiction. And I guess he's decided to start with the NYSC. Meanwhile, the NDLEA is actually doing some important work that needs more light, and they're doing this on the ground, and they're having weekly reviews where they shine a light on their interventions and their stories of recovery from drug abuse. Take a look at these commendable transformational stories.
The head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the craving.
Now, online, the rhetoric was that there was a lot of backlash concerning this. People were saying, why should NYSC test, incoming coppers? It infringes on their human rights. But the video that you just saw is the reason why, that lots of young people need help and that they're losing their lives to drug abuse. But in order for this not to infringe on the rights of the coppers, NDLEA will need to put in place a proper and clear legal framework that is backed by the National Assembly. And also, if they do get positive drug tests, it would be great to see them handle it from the aspect of rehabilitation as opposed to punishment of these coppers who might be struggling with drug addiction. But let's take a look at social media. Grandpa Frank says, mandate it for your senators first. We'll take another tweet. Tam says, what a joke of an agency. You cannot just conduct a drug test on someone without any probable cause. I trust coppers are no suspects of drug abuse, possession, and trafficking. Hence, it would be an assault and infringement on their fundamental human rights as provided by the Constitution. This is a double-edged sword. In our next story, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the NSCDC, has reportedly apprehended a man found with a firearm inside a church in Bukas local government area of Plateau State, the same region where just last week 52 people were killed in attacks that were linked to armed herdsmen. Now, according to a source, the man could not provide any legal documentation or clear explanation for possessing the weapon. And while it remains unclear whether the individual posed a threat or whether he was acting in self-defense, this incident is being treated with caution, given the area's recent history of violence. The suspect's identity has not yet been disclosed, and there are ongoing investigations surrounding this. But, all throughout the program and all throughout last week, we spoke about local vigilante and localized security. And this is the result of this. This is just one in many. And I worry that we might see many more faces like this and many more people taking arms. And so this is the face of it right now. But let's take a look at social media. Mashini says, let them ask him very well. He might be protecting the church because even the church is not safe too. I don't believe in all this interrogation. Olusesan says, thank God for the security's intelligence. It could have been another story. Now, I don't know much about this story, but I worry that this man could have been acting in fear. We'll wait for the investigations to reveal more. But what do you guys think? We've been talking about localized security. Now we're seeing somebody taking up arms and we don't know who. The lines are very, very blurred, and we might be seeing more of this in coming times with the insecurity in Benue and Plateau.
Absolutely. Olamide, I do not want us to conclude as to how he got the weapons, or that perhaps he's acting in self-defense or acting out of fear. How did he get the weapon in the first place? There are laws. You don't just bear arms like that. Yes, we know that Nigeria is dealing with the matters of small arms and light weapons, the infiltration of it. But how did he get it? Because these things are expensive. So someone must have given him that gun, and they have to get to the root of how he acquired that weapon. The state government needs to take it up and carry out investigation. By now, we should have details of him. You cannot just hand a gun to someone who does not know how to use it. So for him to just be handling the gun, there is some underlying story that we need to get to the root of. And then to the matter of NYSC and NDLEA and the need to carry out tests for persons who want to, do their service year. I think it's a good step in the right direction, but it has to be backed by law, like you rightly pointed out. But I guess that this is something that they can still work hand in glove and get the cooperation of youth coppers as they move ahead.
All right, I think the man with the gun in the church is something that they really need to investigate. You cannot just give a gun to someone that doesn't properly know how to use it, or when something happens, he can just go off like that. He may end up even killing innocent people. So I think that's something they really need to find out. Who gave him the gun? How did he get it in the church? Was he trying to attack the church? Was he trying to protect himself? These are questions that we have to ask. And talking about the NYSC thing, I would really say I agree with it, because Olamide, if you look at how a lot of young people take drugs now, it is scary, it's alarming. So I do not even fault the NYSC for saying that, you want to get into to serve, your country. Let's find out, if you are actually taking drugs. If you are, then they can crop it at the early stage than waiting for you to now finish before, you find out that the person was taking drugs. And then look at the videos we just watched. I really like the idea. I think the person that came up with it should have like really cold, chilled water to just cool his temper for this Easter. And I think it's something they should do. But also with the law, they should work hand in hand with them. And I pray that every young person will cooperate, because the rate of drugs right now, we really need to check our young people.
Yes, I totally support testing NYSC corps members, right before they get on camp, because we know that a lot of people, a lot of them from school, some of them are drug abusers. It doesn't mean that they are infringing on your privacy. Of course, it's a dicey situation. You have the right to privacy and all of that. It should go beyond NYSC. They should also extend it to secondary school, because we know younger kids are now doing drugs. Some of them are doing, serious drugs that even the elderly ones are not able to do. So one of the tweets said, extend it to the senators. Yeah, I think anyone across the nation, should be, tested for drugs. It doesn't mean that, and then we should think of how to adjust our laws in terms of how do we know who is doing drugs or not, because some people you do not even expect are doing drugs, housewives, husbands, maids, etc. So it's one thing, it's a dicey situation, but we have to subject it to constant debate so that we'll decide how we'll definitely rid our society of bad eggs.
Thank you all so much for your input. I believe that the first step to curbing drug abuse is this open dialogue that we're having even on this set. But moving on in our next story, the Nigerian chess champion Tunde Onokoya has officially broken the Guinness World Record for the longest chess marathon after playing for 70 hours straight in New York's Times Square with his fellow player Sean Martinez. Now he crossed the previous record at the 62-hour mark, beating the 2024 record set by some Norwegian players. Now, he didn't do it for fame. The proceeds and the paparazzi go towards raising funds to build free schools for homeless children across Africa through his initiative, Chess in Slums Africa. The record was officially acknowledged yesterday by the Guinness World Records, and this is an amazing, amazing achievement. I think this is what happens when we give solid people and grounded people and people with a purpose a platform. He's using his global stage for good. I absolutely love to see it. Before I take some tweets, minutes, I'd ask you guys to please chime in with the hashtag trending now on TVC. I'm not giving up. Tag me in all your on any social media platform of your choice. I promise I am listening. I'm going to take a tweet about Tunde Onakoya. I want something uplifting on this Monday morning where we've constantly been talking about all this death. This is what he had to say. He said, if you had 70 hours to change the world, what would you do? Sometimes the world won't hand you 70 hours on a golden platter. Sometimes you've got to carve it out of your own breath, your own becoming. Not for applause, not for records, but for the quiet dreamers who need to see someone leap so they know it's possible to fly. How important do you guys think that these stories are, you know, for young people to see themselves being represented, to be given opportunities like this? How important do you think this is, the work that he's doing?
Right. Congratulations to Tunde Onakoya. He's such an inspiring figure for not just young persons because of his foundation, Chest to Slum, but also for young persons within that age that you can be who you want to be, because he also has this grass to grace story, and he has walked through the ranks to be where he is today. And having 70 hours doing something, you know, so laudable and inspiring people is something that has to be, you know, commended. I like the fact that he's not giving up. He still keeps pushing to break the records, and he's aiming for more hours to break more record. Even his record, he's looking to break it. So kudos to him and every other person he's been inspiring, especially those children in the Chest to Slum Foundation.
You know, Olamide, whenever I hear the name Tunde, I love a man that likes to break his own record. And
we love a king.
He's been doing. A king and more, I must say. You know, but today is really making Nigeria proud, you know, and the fact that everything is going to the less privileged is just beautiful. You can see that he's not doing it for his pocket, and he has showed countless times his love for children, and he's using what he has, chairs, to make a difference in the world. Nigeria definitely loves him. We applaud him for everything he does, and yes, keep breaking your record. We love it here.
And I think that he's a man that, you know, a man of few words. He doesn't talk, he doesn't shout, he doesn't brag. He's just quiet, you know, moves on on doing his own thing. I guess maybe that's what chairs makes you to be. You know, you're very, very intentional about what you do. And seeing that he's also helping young kids, you know, from slum to, you know, world stage, and he's constantly in competition against his own self. He's not even competing with anyone. It looks like he's the world best, he's the GOAT. And then we say kudos to, you know, Tunde Onakoya.
He's so fine. He has the steez. Everything just goes together.
I must say, you guys, this is the checkmate for Nigeria.
What men see is different from what the ladies see. What Ria is seeing.
So what are you seeing? Okay, so what are you seeing?
I'm seeing intelligence. I'm seeing.
But you cannot deny the fact intelligence, and he's handsome as well.
He's
He's
cute,
very handsome.
you know, he's mean.
He is very easy on the eyes. I would watch him for 70 hours. I'd watch him.
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
I'm not. You know, so, you know, placing Nigeria on the map is one thing that we should continue to appreciate, and we want the younger generation to look. These are the people that you need to emulate, not get on social media and be saying a whole lot of thrash.
No, you can be on social media and still inspire people.
No, I say saying a whole lot of thrash.
He's on social media, he's using it for a good cause.
That's right.
And that's what we are trying to say, the summary of everything. He's intentional, like you rightly pointed out, Ibrahim, and he's focused. He knows what he is all about. And all of these wins is not getting to his head. It's obvious. And so he keeps influencing in the right way.
That's right.
Young persons. And that's what...
He's very humble.
Yes, of course. I met him several times, and he's shown that humility is someone to be emulated. And kudos to him once again.
I like the fact that Veronica met him, so I'll ask you something about him later on, if that's fine.
Okay.
You can meet anybody anywhere, so it's fine.
Do you want to play? You want to play chess?
I want to learn chess. Actually.
I want to play ball.
No, I want to play. No, I think the boat. But chess first.
Anyway,
it's a very good one.
Cheers to you, Tunde Onakoya, for this feat that you have just
Congratulations.
Cheers to the chess man.
All right, thank you, Olamide, for bringing
You're
us
welcome.
Those inspiring stories. Well, this is where we have to draw the curtains on the program for today. Let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the Ladies, and afterwards is This Morning with Yori Folarin. To stay safe. Bye.